Okay, can everybody see that?
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. Hi, everybody. I hope you all are doing well today. My name is Lakshmi, and somewhere along the Zoom screen, you'll see my teammates, Flora, Tina, Ian, and Elijah. And today we're going to be talking to you a little bit about what we did for the Arts Views this semester. But before we get started, I just wanted to give you a brief introduction and overview of the background of the Arts Views and a little bit of insight as to why we came up with the plan that we did for this semester. So the Arts Views, as we all know, is a nonprofit online magazine that is committed to publishing critical reviews related to art and culture in its many forms, especially publishes on more underrated topics as opposed to mainstream topics and movements. At the beginning of the semester, we were told by Professor Marks that the Arts Views publishes 2 to 3 articles a day and receives more than 40,000 views or visits on the website per month. So our goal as a course this semester was to assist the Arts Views in 4 different categories. The first being fundraising, we have gaining critics of color, planning a event, the physical event, and then increasing the social media presence of the Arts Views. And my team specifically focused on increasing the social media presence of the Arts Views. So I'm sure that many of you, if not all of you, at some point within the last 24 hours have been on some sort of social media platform. And that just reflects how integrated social media really is in our society today. Several sources actually suggest that the use of social media can really have a positive effect on the growth of businesses, specifically online businesses and smaller businesses. And the specific social media platform that we chose to use this semester was Instagram. So we decided to use Instagram for a couple of reasons. The first reason being that it had certain mechanisms that would allow us to reach a lot more people. And these mechanisms included using hashtags and directly adding or tagging people. So we saw that by the end of the semester, both of these methods actually worked pretty well for us. Through the use of hashtags, for example, by the end of the semester, some of our reels, some of the content that we posted actually ended up getting over 1,000 views, which is awesome. And we also saw a lot of engagement with our audience at the end of the semester. We had a lot of people actually tagging us in their own content and their own posts and pages, which was great. The second reason for using Instagram was that the Arts Views actually already used Twitter and Facebook and was pretty active on both of those platforms. And using Instagram, which hadn't been active in a while, honestly, was actually a way for us to have a little bit more creative freedom on how we could help the Arts Views this semester. The third reason was that Instagram actually had access to free analytics. So when we switched to a business profile at the beginning of the semester, we were able to better monitor a little bit more of our progress throughout the course. Instagram also allowed us to reach a different audience demographic. So at the beginning of the semester, we were told once again by Professor Marks that a lot of the Arts Views audience is younger. And we see this trend now that a lot of younger audiences are going more for platforms such as Instagram as opposed to platforms such as Facebook. We thought that using Instagram would allow us to cater a little bit better towards the audience. And the last and main reason that we used Instagram was that it actually combined features of several different social media platforms into one convenient interface for us to use. And I'll show you some examples of that right now. So this is an example of an Instagram post that we actually created this semester. As you can see here, we have an actual photograph and then a caption. And actually, I just want to note that the caption that you see here is in English, but all of our posts actually had a separate caption posted in Spanish so that we'd reach a larger audience. And this is something, both of these features are something we might see on other social media platforms such as Facebook or Twitter. So this is an example an Instagram reel that we created. And these are similar to something you might see on the social media platform TikTok, which I'm sure everybody is familiar with at this point. Um, and it basically is a way for us to get shorter, more engaging content out to our audience. And I'll play a little bit of one of the reels that we made this semester. I know that I'm destined for all of the lights to be on the stage, not in the crowd. But here I stand on the other side, screaming your name. So from now I'll be your bad girl. I'll be your bad girl. I'll be your bad. So Instagram also has the ability to create stories. And these are, once again, shorter pieces of information. We use them more for reminders, actually, for events. This was, for example, a reminder of the fundraiser event that was coming up on Facebook. And also, it actually disappears after 24 hours, which makes it really similar to something you might see on Snapchat. And I'll play a little bit of one of our stories from the semester. And the last feature that Instagram has is this Instagram Live option. And this is similar to something you might see on Facebook Live. We actually have a speaker who's speaking at a live performance at a live time, and they're able to interact with followers on the Arts Views through a chat feature. And this is actually an example of one of the Arts Views contributors, Deanna Costa. She was one of our live stream speakers from a couple of weeks ago, and I'll just play a little bit of her live stream for you guys.
I feel like she's doing like a 2000s thing sometime, then she's doing like an R&B that but I was in that kind of mood, and I had the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation theme song stuck in my head like all afternoon. See, Ian says I've been listening to Christmas music since October. So.
And as you could see at the end there, she's actually interacting with one of our team members in the audience through the chat feature, Ian. So for these reasons, we decided to use Instagram as a platform of our choice this semester. I'm going to now hand it off to Elijah to talk a little bit more about the goals and accomplishments of our team this semester.
So using Instagram, can you guys hear me okay, by the way? Okay, so using Instagram, we had 3 main goals. And so our first goal was to establish our Instagram platform and update it weekly with multiple posts, reels, and stories. And we wanted to get a target following of 500 followers. So we partially achieved this goal. We ended up with 306 followers, and that was a 21% increase since the beginning of our campaign as of November. So we produced 5 lives, 29 posts, 14 reels, and reposted multiple stories on Instagram. At the beginning, we also wanted to simultaneously post on Facebook. And while we did not achieve this, the Instagram posts were always very connected to the Facebook posts, and they were like parallel to each other. We also accomplished collaborations with other groups, such as the Hub Cross College Challenge Instagram page, the Arts Fuse Finance, and Fusical teams. Our second goal was that we wanted to establish a social media internship with BU colleges, because we wanted to continue our social media presence and have someone who is creative and also knowledgeable. We ended up creating a form in order to obtain a potential candidate, and these were sent out and responses were given to Bill. And so Bill selected the individual he felt was fit for the position, but as he said earlier, responses have yet to be sent. Our third goal was that we wanted to analyze the development of our Instagram using like a statistical analysis, and luckily Instagram does this for us. So we took weekly screenshots of this analysis to monitor our progress over time, and these screenshots will show in just a minute, but they show that there was an increase in followers and increase in engagement over time with our content. So on the left, this is from the beginning of our Instagram account creation. So you can see 130 accounts were reached, and by the end, there was 171 accounts reached. And then it went from 28 content interactions to 37 content interactions, as well as 269 followers to 306 followers. So with our Instagram lives at the beginning, we experienced a lot of problems. And so what we did was that we created a free FAQ sheet. And basically what this FAQ sheet did was outline how to do an Instagram live. And you could see on the right that one of the first things that we wanted people to do was have the app itself on their phone, because people didn't know that this was a requirement. And this ended up working really well, and like it made the process a lot more smooth. We also had problems with our links. So we created a link tree and put this in our Instagram bio. And this basically like organized all our links and made it much easier for people to get where they wanted to go to.
So as Elijah mentioned, one of our major projects was to obtain an intern for the Arts Views. And so just a general overview, we wanted the intern to be able to further improve and develop the accounts that the Arts Views had, such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And the end result is that we obtained 6 individuals, and Bill chose one of them, but responses still have to be heard. And so this page shows the sample job description we expected our intern to have. There were, during our weekly meetings, for example, we realized that there are particular skills that we needed our intern to have. So for example, we needed them to be good at troubleshooting or be highly communicative. And so these are important because we faced a lot of challenges, as we'll mention later in the presentation. And on the next slide, this is a sample application that was put on a Google form and was posted on several platforms, for example, on the Facebook Boston University page. And we asked them several questions to see whether they were a fit for the Arts Views or not. And individuals usually are more attracted to opportunities that might give them more course credits, for example. So we also provided this to the applicants, maybe to see if they could obtain some sort of a course credit. And lastly, as we said, this was a sample rejection letter that we had to send to the other 5 applicants who Bill decided not to choose.
So in order to measure the success of our campaign, we have to look at a lot of the quantitative data relating to this. And you'll see that the last post on the Arts Views Instagram page was on February 26, 2016, which is coming up on almost 5 years. So it's been inactive for a very, very long time. And we assumed responsibility of the account on October 5th, 2020. We managed it for 3 months until December 2nd, 2020. And that is when we conducted analytics to see how we performed. So just some quick statistics. We started with 252 followers, and by the end of our posting, we finished with 306. This equates to a 21% increase in followers. So through this chart, you can see a pretty precipitous increase in followers from our first posting date on October 5th all the way to the end of our campaign on December 7th. So there are 3 types of posts. We posted 29 total times. We posted 5 live streams, and we posted 14 reels. And our reels achieved varying degrees of success and viewership. We had 2 reels that gained quite a lot of traction, garnering over 1,000 views each. We had 3 reels with between 500 and 1,000 views, 7 reels with between 100 and 499 views, and 2 reels with less than 100 views. And I would attribute the low viewership to the first 2 reels with the less than 100 views to that was us still learning how to use hashtags to get more attention to our reels. And as we started to learn how to reach a larger audience, we started seeing an increase in the viewership of our reels. So just some more statistics. We had 6,509 account impressions. An account impression is the total number of times our content has been displayed on any screen. And we reached 5,147 accounts. And an account reach is just a way to describe the total number of people who have seen the content. So over 500,000 unique individuals have seen our content that we posted.
So, of course, with all of the achievements that we've achieved, there are some challenges that we did bump into along the way. So one of the bigger ones was that we weren't able to reach the target amount of followers of 500. So this was a goal we set for ourselves in the beginning when we handed in the project proposal so that it would be increasing, the follower count would be increasing by 100 each month. However, we found that that was not feasible, because since the account was inactive for 4 years, in addition to gaining new followers, we would also have to gain the attention back from the old followers. And another thing was that the audience demographics were different than what we expected. So in the beginning, we thought that the audience demographics would be more towards the college students and more of the younger audience. However, after interacting with some followers on posts and live streams, we found that the audience demographics was actually a little bit older and they're actually more experienced with the arts. So along with the live streams, we also had difficulties because the speakers were not experienced with the platform. So as mentioned before, we created an FAQ sheet so that the speakers can actually get acquainted with the platform before they actually go on and do the live stream. But along with that, there were also security issues because there are too many devices logged on to the account, and Instagram tend to flag unfamiliar actions on the account so that we get locked out of the account. And we did get locked out of the account quite a few times because there were too many devices logged in. So how we solved that was that we added one of our phone numbers into the recovery phone number so that we were able to retrieve access to the account after we get locked out. And the last one is that in the beginning, we were all kind of inexperienced in running a business Instagram account. Of course, I'm sure we all had like our own Instagram account and doing our personal things, but then running a business account is different. So we were all new to the platform, and there was a pretty steep learning curve as to how we have to make more professional posts and be able to like use hashtags as mentioned before. And all of us in the team have different personal styles. So in order to create a more cohesive and uniform feed, we also had to get to know each other and get to know each other's styles. But after working with our team for a whole semester together, I find that we did achieve that pretty well because we did have a pretty cohesive feed after actually getting to know each other and getting used to each other's styles. So some future suggestions we have for the ArtsFuse is that we can promote the other social media platforms along with Instagram. So syncing the post, since the ArtsFuse is active on Facebook and Twitter, syncing the posts across all 3 platforms would help all 3 platforms gain more followers and gain more traction at the same time, bringing some followers from Instagram to Facebook and Twitter and vice versa. And another one would be that having a set posting schedule. So our team had a set posting schedule for the whole semester, and each day was assigned to a team member. And then at that day, that team member is responsible for posting the content for that day at a specific time. So that really helped us out a lot because we were able to track the posts and we were able to track who's doing what at what day. So that would be a really good way to keep track of all the posts so that none of the posts are missed. And the last one is to have a feed aesthetic. So keeping the feed uniform is really important because the visuals are the first thing that draws people in. And looking at an Instagram page, the first thing you see is the feed. So having it be visually appealing and having a uniform look is more, it it's going to be more useful as to attracting new followers to follow the page once they click into our platform.
So just some final points. We learned quite a bit throughout this social media campaign, one of which was reviving an inactive account is quite difficult. There are two pieces to this. One is re-engaging the old followers that had been following the Arts Views prior to their last post almost 5 years ago, while simultaneously seeking out new followers. And in order to do that, we had to figure out how to get more viewership on our posts. And that came through learning how to use hashtags effectively, which we saw in our reels, allowed them to reach a much larger audience, sometimes over 1,000. And as well as implementing some tricks of the trade for social media management, like Canva, which is like a graphic design website that allowed us to create well-designed Instagram posts and reels, as well as flyers. Linktree, which allowed visitors to the page to visit the articles that we were recommending rather than just typing in the URL by themselves. And scheduled postings, which saved us a lot of time. Near the end, we were posting a lot of content for other teams. We also learned how to effectively collaborate with ArtsViews contributors. This was a pretty large part of our project for the live streams, and this required effective communication for scheduling and hosting them, and also what we needed to do to have a quality interview, just one that was enjoyable to watch and very informative. And we had to ask the right questions and ask relevant questions about their work experience and their experience as a writer. And we also learned how to think on the fly to address unforeseen events. These are namely login issues. And at one point we even had to schedule an impromptu Zoom meeting because one of our contributors was just unable to log on to the account. So we held an interview through Zoom and we just came up with questions right there. And then we posted the Zoom interview to our feed. And we think it did very well. And we also learned how to work with the client to achieve their vision and goals. We worked with Professor Marks very closely throughout this whole experience. We would send him our batch of posts for the week for his comments, and would await his approval before we started posting them. And we also learned how to work with other teams to help them achieve their goals. We did a lot of crossovers with the musical team and the fundraising team because we were in a position to help them gain more attention for their projects because of our following. So yeah. So just some final thoughts. I feel like we grew a lot as a team throughout this process. We learned how to resolve challenges and difficulties on the fly. We spent so many hours in meetings together throughout the week. We met like twice a week for at least like an hour each for like almost the entire semester. And we've communicated so much throughout these 3.5 months. One thing that was kind of hard was accepting deviations from our original goals. And this is namely for the not achieving our desired 500 followers, but we're pretty pleased with the net positive growth. And we're also very satisfied from seeing the feed develop through time and you can kind of track how we refined our methodology as we got better at posting and making more visually pleasing content. I feel like as a group, we grew as individuals too, through diving headfirst into the world of social media management, which is a world that I don't think any of us have ever participated in this way. A lot of us had no prior experience curating accounts for clients. And just looking into the future, we're pretty excited to see where any intern will take this profile. We feel like we gave it a pretty solid foundation that they can work with. And we're incredibly proud of the start that we gave the profile.
It has been said that music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. So since this course is being about cross-cultural exploration of music, and along with the ArtsViews mission to like write about music, culture, and the arts, we'd like to show you how personal and imaginative music really is, and send you off with some of our own music suggestions. So for me, my song my song suggestion today is Reveal by The Boys. It's a K-pop song. Although the song itself is great, the first thing that drew me into this song is actually not the song itself, but the performance. The performance holds a lot of suspense, and there's just something about it that draws me in. Wait, Lakshmi, I think you have to share sound. I can't hear it.
1 second. Let me try and do that real quick. So the song that I actually chose next was called Gris by J Balvin. And I mostly chose this song because it evokes kind of happy and laid back feelings for me. It's kind of a summary of something that you can listen to throughout the year, which I really appreciated. So I'll play a little bit of that for you guys right now.
El mismo cuento de no acabar. Siempre hay algo que aclarar. Si miro a otra no soy leal. Quisiera avanzar pero no lo superar. ¿Acaso eres perfecta para juzgar? Eso parece. Por más que lo hago bien tú lo ves mal. Let go. Dime más, dime lo que yo hago lo que.
And so the song that I chose is Speechless by Dan and Shay, and it just like warms your heart.
I know that I'll be a mess the second that I see you. You won't be surprised, it happens every time, it's nothing new. It's always on a night like tonight. I thank God you can read my mind.
So this song I first heard at Pavement. I'm sure all of you have visited Pavement at some point in your careers at BU. And I don't know, it reminds me of like better days where I could actually go to Pavement, sit down at one of their coveted tables and just pull out my laptop and just like rot there for like 5 hours. It just brings me back to better days. So yeah.
I'll be your morning bright, good night shadow machine. I'll be your record player, baby, if you know what I mean. I'll be your real tough cookie with a whiskey breath. I'll be your killer.
So the song I chose was Cool Rasta by the Heptones. This is just like a really calming song and very, very groovy and some great bass too.
I said cool, oh cool, cool Rasta, cool.
I hope you guys enjoyed that little tidbit at the end. Before we go, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody in this class, for all the collaborations and getting to learn a little bit more about you guys and work with you guys. I wanted to thank our professors for giving us lots of great suggestions and encouragement throughout the semester. And I definitely want to thank Professor Marks for being so patient with us and giving us this great opportunity to work with you. We're really excited to see where the Arts Fuse goes in the next couple of years. So thank you so much for listening.